looked a lot better overall. You know, it's not just a couple of scrappy wins. They almost beat TSM last week as well, so they were very close to the 2-0 weekend. They went 1-1 the week before that. Prior to that, it was 6 straight losses. So it has been up and to the right, I think, for Immortals. They've been getting better and better week over week. They're finally looking like a team, because they did not look like a team. They looked like a group of individuals throughout lock-in and throughout week 1 of the LCS. So it's exciting to see them coming together here. And if they could take down FlyQuest, that would be a big win for them, move them to 4-4 here, and really kind of right this ship. But it is interesting to see that, you know, even with things going a lot better, they're still making this potential swap for Arrow. You know, my understanding is that they're going to try Arrow, they're going to try Turtle, whichever goes better. That will be the person who plays at the last game of the week, which is pretty cool. So, you know, Arrow, some pressure on him for sure. If you're trying to make it back and be a consistent LCS player, you have got to perform in this game.
Yep. And the thing is, looking at his history in Academy, 26 games, he's just like a Xerxe Aphelios 2 trick, right? Across 26 games, 22 on Xerxe Aphelios, 11 apiece. The Xerxe has gone far better than the Aphelios, even though both were up. FlyQuest go, Xerxe is more important. We're going to lock the one in for Johnsun, put Arrow on a champion he has not performed as well upon. And it may be a rough look. We'll see what comes through to this one. Volibear locked in as well for some early game jungle pressure. I do think this is one champion who is a bit underpicked. I think he is very, very good. I know we used to see a lot of the Lee Sin Xin Zhao, but I think Volibear really works well to get stuff going early game.
Yeah, I agree. Especially I think if you have other, you know, strong lanes that can kind of follow up or set up. If you have a stun in the lane like a Leona or whatever, something like that, you can really, I think, play aggressively through those lanes with the follow-up CC. You know, guarantee that your E is going to land, guarantee that you can catch up, land your Q stun. Has a lot of early power in these skirmishes through early mid game. Very, very strong. Good at taking objectives. And it is going to be not quite parity, so I'm expecting some jungle bans coming out here from IMT, you know, to throw Jose's way. We did just see him play Viego. There's a lot of options up, so the other option is to just like not ban any of them if you're not really concerned, but they are going to ban Lee Sin. Because my problem with it is, like, unless you think he's just way better at these champs specifically, you can ban Lee Sin and Xin, and there's still Viego. There's still a lot of really popular meta champs. Udir's unbanned that is very popular. So it's tough to really trim the pool enough that it feels like you make a dent. So I wonder if you wouldn't be better served just throwing a couple of bans towards toucouille and then picking as your fourth pick mid, and then saving top lane counter pick for last, and then just kind of like really trimming the pool in mid lane to try to push toucouille down.
But the way they're going at it, it's going to be double jungle bans. Lee Sin at the table, Udyr as a more farm-focused one. With Hecarim gone as well, you are getting rid of pretty much all the meta farm junglers. Like, we have seen Karthus and whatnot, but the ones people play really is like the Hecarim and the Udyr are the ones who like kind of get ahead just on clearing. Zilean the Hover right now, I mean, definitely a very strong champion. Talking to PoE and their coach Invert, they're big fans of this champion. I think he's very, very good.
I think he's incredibly good, and it is a flex, mid or support, right? We're seeing it actually more in support elsewhere in the world. In the LCS, it has been mid. Everywhere else, it has been support. Yeah. Not going to get locked in just yet, though. Hovering the okay, so he's going to be swapping over to the Camille. And of course, they do have Tahm Kench, so we are kind of assuming that is the support in this case. But Revenge going aggressive again, you know, has been really kind of what he has been playing, is these aggressive like picks. He wants to fight, he wants to be able to play through side lane, wants to be able to create advantages in lane. It is really good setup for the Volibear, so I do think that's a nice kind of 1-2 combo there. You especially post 6 have the lockdown with the ultimatum. Volibear can come in over the top. You can look for dives very effectively, turn off the towers with the Volibear ult. It's going to be Trundle as the response here. You can get pretty good value with the ultimate on both Volley and Tahm Kench, honestly, so don't mind it as a pick whatsoever. And when Volley is actually playing aggressively into a Trundle, Pillar is just so effective at denying this champion. Unless he's willing to actually ult over the Pillar and really go aggressive in, you just shut down the queue completely by just pillaring him out.
Which will it be? Syndra or Shyvana? Who knows? Wow! I thought it was really either way with this one. Syndra going to be the blind pick, mid lane. Lock in here. Now, we have seen Tahm Kench mid a little bit last year, not expecting it here in any way, but did see a bit from, for example, Blaze Olive, who did pretty well on it. So, mid lane counter pick will go to PowerOfEvil. What's going to play into Syndra?
Probably just Orianna or something really standard. I mean, you know, he's almost always kind of defaulting to those comfort picks. This is the first time we've seen toucouille actually play Syndra this year. Orianna does get locked in. It has been the go-to for PoE, so it's not like it was really a shot in the dark there. He's been going towards it more and more. In the early weeks, he actually wasn't playing Orianna, but his last 2 or 3 games has just been Orianna, Orianna, Orianna. And we'll see how he's going to be able to do into this matchup against toucouille, who, this is kind of the player that most people were comparing toucouille with. It is actually PoE. People are saying, yeah, he's as good as this guy on control mages, and they are going to be able to have this matchup here. One of the most played for toucouille throughout his career is the Syndra. It's actually his second most played, 58% win rate, 17 games. So both these people playing comfort, and I'm excited to see them kind of do battle, because I do think they're two of our premier control mage players in the league.
Absolutely, and it's going to be fun to watch this one played out. Certainly, Syndra versus Orianna has been, to say it in a certain way, played out. It's a really common matchup in the mid lane. Both these teams could end their week at 5-4. Obviously, we had FlyQuest coming in at 5-1, high hopes, but we knew this was going to be a tough week for them. Most of their tough opponents were going to be during this week. Immortals had kind of the opposite situation, where they played the top of the table early on, and they got away with a couple of good wins, right? I think 100 Thieves was their first win of the season, which was really well done to them, but a bunch of teams that people had lower expectations of and said, okay, well, now's the time to shine. Now's the time to end the first round robin with a positive win rate, and at that point, you control your destiny, right? You for sure have ownership of making playoffs. You have ownership of then going deep and making that play at that point. So this is kind of the day that Immortals get to show up and say, hey, look, we just saw FlyQuest battered and bruised. We can go on to win number 4. We can go on to win number 5 tomorrow. Like, this is the time to shine for Immortals, and not that 2-game winning streak. Like, the sky is becoming the limit for them right now.
Yeah, and with a lot of the teams, I think that were somewhat expected to have really stronger starts than they did. TSM has fallen down a lot. People had them, kind of projected as a top 5 team. EG has had some struggles, though they did just come off an amazing game. It does kind of open the door for a team like Immortals if they start continuing on this trend, continuing to pick up wins, to be, a top 4, top 5 team potentially. The door is open.
I will say, I at least called Immortals in playoffs. I called Immortals top 6 on the dive, and TSM actually one of the teams to get out of it. I was a bit under on C9. They did better than I thought. But Immortals, yeah, a team that I had faith in. And I'm glad to see them doing well. Just, I'm just a big underdog fan in general. So, obviously casting NA at Worlds, big underdog fan. But yeah, high hopes for Immortals. I'm a big Xerxe fan specifically as well. And glad to see them finally turn to the corner here. Because, yeah, Lock-in was rough, 0-4, bad start. Bunch of losses in a row to start the regular season as well. But they can make that 5-4 run for the first round robin. We'll see that finalized tomorrow, of course. And PoE is on comfort, right? It is Immortals kind of locking in their play style. It's like, yeah, it's not flashy, it's not spicy, but yeah, PoE is on Orianna again. And like, hey, if that works for you and you win games, great.
Absolutely, and that's how he's made his career, right? He really hasn't been a player to be super flexible. He's almost always going to control mages, pretty much regardless of the meta. Every once in a while, he mixes it up and tries something new, but almost always he is going back to control mages. He has been very good for so many years on them. Is going to be playing Phase Rush, which is pretty much always what you want to go against Trundle. It just answers the slow from the pillar very effectively. I will say I'm a little bit surprised that Johnsun is actually going cleanse here against the Aphelios TK lane. Like, yes, you can actually cleanse maybe a hookshot stun or a volley stun or potentially a root, but I just think you would have normally gone heal in this case. It just doesn't feel like there's enough of a consistent threat of that CC that it's going to outweigh what you get from heal.
Personally, a much bigger fan of actually Exhaust. I think we've been seeing players have been shifting their behavior more and more toward going Exhaust and AD carries. I think in most situations it's actually correct. Anyone who meaningfully threatens you, you're in range of Exhaust and you cut their damage by 30%. That's going to do more in a lot of cases than your cut in half heal. Sometimes cleanse, sure, right? You're against Ashe or a Threshold or whatever, but I think Exhaust is almost the go-to.
It's interesting because you're saying people are going to it more. I would say in the early weeks, and especially in lock-in people were, but I feel like mostly marksmen have kind of abandoned it. They've gone back towards cleanse and heal, it feels like. So it is interesting, but I do agree. It's a nice little Chomper Flay combo.
Yo, he's so good! It's already going to be flashed down for Arrow. All Summoner's gone! Afro, man, that does not miss! But now, in the top side, Xerxe's here, flash stun, hookshot gonna land. That's gotta be enough damage! First blood in the top lane!
Powerful combo there. Volibear plus the Camille. They land the stuns, able to get in, take down Kumo, and he loses his flash. That really hurts here. The Ignite is going to be up way before your flash is up, so they can just look to repeat on that timer. toucouille shoving in here mid. Jose is looking to set up. His PowerOfEvil is getting pretty low on health and mana.
Flashless Volibear, of course, can be a target. We know mana is a bit low, but with a Biscuit and a potion stack, yeah, toucouille could show up just in time, help with the play. They're still going to fight over these Raptors, and Xerxe knows, yeah, you're not really showing up. Looks like, recall's coming through, fair enough. The wave kind of cut out, so all right, fights for the camps at the very least. Obviously, the first blood feels good, and
Afro's here.
Afro hasn't missed a hook all game as far as I'm concerned. First stun, second stun, thank you for the flay, a lantern for good measure, the pillar is in, and oh my word, everyone on FlyQuest just pitching in. 2 kills on the board, 1 answered, but worth it for FlyQuest.
Oh man, he don't miss. Aphromoo making it happen in bot lane, roaming up towards that mid lane, and toucouille sets him up perfectly there with the scatter. Chains it into the hook. It seemed like Jose wasn't expecting it to actually happen because he was backing off, and then Aphro pulls him in with the lantern. They get a kill there, and that is rough stuff for PoE because that's TPing right back into a death, and that means he loses that experience. It's kind of bailed out a little bit because he got the kill on that return kill, and the kill on the other side went to Aphro, so not as bad as it could have been. But look at this fat wave that's actually pushing over to toucouille, and he's already up in farm.
So it's going to be even farther ahead. Now you can kind of equalize, say, well, okay, he only got 75 gold for the assist, so, you know, the 1-for-1 is actually 200 gold advantaged, and, you know, keep doing the whole calculator Poindexter thing, but it is probably still going to be toucouille in the advantage, looking pretty good. And now, as we look back on the bottom lane, of course, no kills on the board for our boy Johnsun. Waiting to find their first move is, of course, there weren't kills down to the bottom side, so farm advantage good enough.
It's worth noting, too, that Aphro didn't spend summoners when he actually went towards mid. So if he actually just waits until Ignite comes up, there is that window where Arrow will not have Flash, Destiny will not be level 6, and you will have Flash Ignite plus double sums on the Jinx. And Aphro can potentially look for it as Kumo going to get delayed here. Doesn't want to over-chase Revenge because he wants to be able to collect this wave. You don't want to allow it to crash, so you just stop the base. You know he doesn't have TP. Now this guarantees that the full cannon wave coming from your side will be denied. That's all going to die, and Kumo's just going to fall more and more behind. Plus, he's going to come back to a frozen lane, which pretty much means you need to call your jungler up there to bail you out, and Xerxe is down on bot side, so it's not going to happen.
Well, Xerxe's down here. Maybe Jose can help out as eventually Great make his way up. Is this the play? Yeah. Looking for the knock up, and Johnsun will have to flash away. Good job going out there from Brush. Yeah, not going to mean much. All right, PoE gets his move speed, but he's still getting the wave denied. I mean, again, it's a flash as Orianna. You can combo this man. toucouille's got.
Look at the farm, right? Like it is a pretty big deal because he lost so much because the wave had bounced and he died off the TP. So it's pushing away from him. Then the wave is stacked and they threaten the dive. Yeah, they can't actually go for the dive, but he did miss cannon and I think at least 1 melee on top of that. And he is down a good 20 CS early on here. Just Jose putting a little bit of pressure on, very low risk, and I would say like, you know, medium reward. Yeah. And those plays are pretty nice to go for because it's that little guaranteed advantage that you can kind of eke out. Right. Now it's level 6 to level 5 here from toucouille, which is the extension of that play, which is the freeze and the extra experience that he was gifted.
So nice try on that stun revenge though with his physical damage shield, can tank a turret shot for free. Xerxe on the way up, but not level 6.
Aphro's coming for the cover though, they smell this.
Is it gonna be enough though? Xerxe still waiting in Tri-Brush. Without level 6, it is hard to make that dive actually happen. If Kumo's full health, I don't think he's really an easy kill. Yes, Ignite is up, but do the rest of it, the rest of the damage even happen. Again, good by Aphro. Trinket Ward spots him running around. Okay, we know there's no play. Aphro, of course, at this point really knows Xerxe's here, thanks to his ward and the E being put down. So with all the information not going to happen, Ulti's going to come across decent damage. Shockwave trades it out. There's a stun, a lantern to safety. Just get away, and again, the hook is going to land. Isn't going to matter, though. Destiny puts on the shield. Should be all right, and a double root comes in. Arrow putting a lot of damage in. Not enough for a kill, but low health bars.
Yeah, very low health bars there, but Aphro doing a good job covering multiple lanes here. He gets the early Mobies, and if you're going to invest your kill gold into that, you have got to be proactive on the map. That does nothing for you if you're sitting around. So goes up towards top, drops the pinks there, covers Kumo on a potential dive, then over towards mid, saves toucouille with the lantern play, now clearing out vision on this bottom side. You know, really doing a good job, having a very big impact in the first 8 minutes of this game.
And as the waves die, we need another recall coming through. Just the Doran's Ring boots,
plus
not a lot of regen.
In mid. Oof.
Yeah, really, really big stuff here. We crest 8 minutes, right? So this is kind of the stopping point here. We say, okay, now the map has moved a bit. We have the Rift Herald on the map. There's suddenly more things to do. We can see the cross-map plays. There are some teams, for example, who keep their AD carry bottom. Some teams who send 5 towards top to play for Herald. Xerxe now level 6. They could maybe find a dive on a Kumo. Keep in mind, Kumo has to check this one. That's going to be a slow. That's going to be a flash stun. They could always ult the chase as well. He shouldn't have an easy way out. When will they have to burn? It goes in for the dive. They find the kill. Xerxe crashes down, and the turret cannot help. JoseDeodo, can he get anything over this one? Not a chance. 1 versus 2. No reinforcement to be seen. Walks away off the corpse of Kumo.
Yeah, it's another good play up towards top side there. Xerxe has the flash. The Q is an auto attack, so it will follow you. You have to early flash or flash pretty much not at all. But Kumo did not want to do it. Tried to go off of reaction. You just really can't make it happen unless they aren't in range immediately after that flash. So, you know, could have looked for the early ult play and then just flash and try to keep that distance. But Jose sticking around, trying to see if he can make anything happen here. Xerxe trying to cover, and now with the bot lane moving up, FlyQuest may have difficulty challenging this.
Here we go, looking for the play. Want to find that first stun, bit of damage out of Arrow. Finds JoseDeodo, wants to find this fight. Not going to happen. Going to get one shot. Yes, indeed. Arrow's on the board. 4-1. Herald goes
Reset.
down. Health bars are up. AD carry drops. And Johnsun's on the chase. IMT running away. Xerxe left alone to die. He's been slaughtered. And FlyQuest come away with an extra kill. However, I believe Herald was claimed by Immortals.
Yep, Xerxe does get it. So it is that trade of essentially the +1 kill for the Herald. Relatively even. I would still say it goes FlyQuest's way, though, because they're going to get to shove in this wave and deny potentially more CS. PowerOfEvil will have to drop that TP, so we'll be able to cover the wave, won't lose a plate or anything like that. But FlyQuest staying aggressive. Kumo's going to have a tough time, but the rest of the map is looking really, really good. They're ahead mid, they're ahead bot. Trundle is fine. He's just chilling, farming, and he's going to be relevant. The real question is, can Revenge get enough out of the emphasis they put towards top lane? Can Revenge be that big threat in the side lane where him and Xerxe are actually taking down towers and making meaningful gains forward in this game? Because if it's just a couple kills and then you sit and you just chill and you trade farm against Graves, it won't be enough.
Yeah, and it has been, I would say, like pretty well done by Kumo. He's actually kept his CS pretty equal,
yeah.
which is impressive for how much he's been attacked. The ganks have worked. They've turned into kills. They've turned into actually not a single turret plate. It's actually Kumo who's got 1 plate down in that lane. So the kills are gold, right? And that is valuable. That's everything. The CS difference only being 12 for how bad some of those kills have looked for Kumo. That's surprising. I'm going to say it's like Kumo doing a good job picking up farm. It is obviously often hard to keep a Graves out of CS.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm expecting Revenge to still be ahead on gold overall. To see him make things happen, he's going for the Triforce build. It is sort of more overall damage in a play.
He's just like zoning him off the farm. Like he was positioning past the range minions in front of the Orianna, who has Shockwave.
Yeah.
You know, feeling very confident in this matchup and in his position in this matchup. PoE has done a good job, I think, to close the gap a little bit in the farm because it was kind of getting out of hand early. It has not expanded. It was almost 30 at one point. It is now 25, but he's going to bring it back to about 20, assuming he picks up the farm out the tower. And, you know, with that kill, that's just fine. But toucouille in a really strong point. Him as well as Johnsun, those are going to be kind of the big hope, I would say, for FlyQuest in this one.
We get a nice little look at the blue buff. Not going to be a problem here. It is Sork Shoes in a last chapter, so is going towards, you know, more aggressive options here. Not a tier pickup on this one. We'll see what he goes for second, but, you know, likely towards that Ludens, for example. We did see the more defensive pit stop, right? Merc Treads and a tier for PoE, like really delaying that Mythic Spike just to kind of stay alive. And I mean, Merc Tread's obviously very smart against a Syndra. You want the tenacity, you want the flat MR.
Yeah, and I think when they have the potential follow-up of that Thresh, you know, roaming over there, it does make a lot of sense. And when you have the bad early bases, often you're kind of forced into tier, I feel like, because if you can't get a last chapter completion, you need some sort of mana regen to be able to get you through lane. Tier is often a good option there. Immortals the ones, though, despite the losing bot, the losing mid, to actually take the first dragon, because FlyQuest hasn't really been paying any attention towards it. It's very similar to the EG game, where it is a late first dragon. Cloud just not seeming like high priority for either team, but we'll see if the subsequent ones are going to be challenged at all.
It is interesting because, yeah, okay, you might not like the individual Cloud Drake itself, and I believe it is probably the weaker dragon of the individual dragons themselves. But yeah, like, you're only getting one and you're moving towards Soul. Like, I don't think any of the dragon buffs themselves are that meaningful. Like, I can't think of one where I'm like, oh man, it really changes the calculus. Like, the non-Soul dragons have been nerfed so much over the seasons that, like, no matter what it is, it's just there to get you towards Soul. Whatever, we got another fight in the top side. Of course, again, Triforce means some decent damage. Gets away from the ulti. Kumo now locked in place. Does Revenge have the damage? Not quite! 100 health left on him. Couldn't get the kill. Trades ult for ult. Ignite down as well.
Yeah, that was really close. Kumo, he's got some confidence to hold on to the stopwatch there. You know, that was really, really low health that he was getting to, but had the read that no more damage was coming through. He'll just TP back towards topside now. And with Ignite down, with ult down on Revenge, he is a little bit more safe for now. Immortals do get the crash mid. Plates are going to fall soon, so they just decide to drop that, get the 2 plates for themselves. PoE, a little bit more gold in his pockets as Johnsun will collect a plate on bot side, and Aphro, I think, intelligently gifting over the solo gold to Johnsun. He's going to get a lot more out of it. Plus, it allows him to position defensively and really stay safe in case someone comes in with that lantern.
Game remains close, though. Farm traded back and forth. Mid lane, 600 gold difference. Bot lane, only 500. Aphro, of course, still ahead thanks to the kill he secured from, I believe, targeting mid lane all that while ago. JoseDeodo. Pillar doesn't actually spot what he wants to know. That's going to be a huge CC chain, and he tries to kill the ward, but it's invulnerable during the teleport, I do believe, and that means Revenge here to say hello. Easy kill onto Jose. 3 minutes till the next dragon. It's not going to mean much for objectives, but it's still a gold injection.
It's a good pick for Immortals. I'm just surprised that Revenge actually TP'd for that because, you know, maybe he thought there was going to be a big fight breaking out, so he does TP in, but there's something to play for on bot side, right? So you TP down, Graves is going to get the shove on top, and that's a Hullbreaker Graves. He doesn't have the confidence to actually walk up to the tower to get some damage down, but at the very least, it relieves a little bit of pressure up there. He's catching up in farm, and it means your TP advantage is gone on that top side.
You see, yep, gold, more gold. Side boop, bottom scoreboard. Cash money, still a very close game. Plus money, plus Dragon Immortals winning via the scoreboard. Scaling, I think, I very slightly actually favor Orianna and Felios here, so I am kind of a fan of the Immortals team comp
I like
right
Trundle
now.
a lot, though, I will say. I do think Trundle's a pretty big X factor in these fights.
Yeah.
If it does just end up being like, you're a mage and carry, hit their mage and carry, well, Trundle helps a lot there.
He does, but we got a flash slow into an ulti. Aphromoo flashes this point, doesn't have a way out. Arrow claims his 3rd kill of the game. Definitely online here on the Aphelios, looking good as Immortals can keep walking forward. Now Johnsun, that's going to be you walking through complete unsafety. Gale forces backwards, but Volibear is angry. Trundle tries. Trundle does not succeed. I think that was weird. Was that an ult over the wall? That was a flash with a weird spectator bug. Back to safety. Thank you. Destiny 7-3.
Yeah, Johnsun not able to get out. I think he would have actually died to just the burn of the challenging smite or red buff or whatever that was because he was so low. But, I mean, he knows they're in the area there as Aphro had already been taken down, and Johnsun just takes a little bit of a walk in the park there, gives up both his thumbs, dies for it, and now Immortals starting up this Herald. They're going to look to finish it. Jose is in the area, but it's a 3v4 if you move forward here from FlyQuest, and that would be risky stuff with PoE zoning. They've
got a mid lane right now. This is the wave just crashing. I would have liked to see more FlyQuest just ready to crush in mid, because I think, honestly, with only PoE here, if FlyQuest made the call, okay, Herald's dead, play for mid, you could have probably killed turret here, right? Drop a couple of wards in the river, play 3 men there, PoE gets flash flayed for a tower dive, or whatever, right? Do something for the tower dive. Like, I think that is a small bit of a ball dropping right there. I think, you know, considering the name of their mid laner, I really wish there was more going on there. But bot lane turret at least will fall with a cross map. They get Kumo down there and some money back for FlyQuest.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's a low percentage play to be able to look for the steal, right? You know, it's so unlikely that you're going to be able to get it with Johnsun actually dead and them having the extra man in the area. So I agree. Pushing mid would have been better there, but it looks like they're going to be able to pick it up anyway. Aphro just sitting behind him, going to keep him safe there with the lantern. So Kumo kills off that bot. Tower, and Shockwave down a bit.
Well.
Nicely done.
Only a turret shot, though. It's not going to matter much. It's just a cooldown, but that is Shockwave down for a dragon attempt. Now, a half-health Syndra is also a loss of resource. This might be a forced TP, as Immortal's going to stop that recall maybe as well, and now it gets tougher and tougher for toucouille to be part of that fight. So as mid is pushed in, this is actually give Immortals the tempo to knock down mid-outer. Yeah, they won't really have Syndra on time if they instantly play for this dragon.
Yeah, and I think they can look for it. I mean, toucouille just has to cancel it again, right? You know, he's in this situation where he doesn't want to give up that second tower. They're going to get the charge, and now Kumo in trouble topside.
It's going to be so much damage. Nice Q. Ulti again is dodge with a backflip. Ulti to guarantee it. No way out. Goes for a high single target DPS build. Works out. Crushes his lane opponent. Top lane turret already gone, and Immortals now just completely own Summoner's Rift.
It's all starting to fall apart here for FlyQuest. Immortals just making good plays across the map. It was 2 Heralds to crack the tier 1, but they used that same Herald, that second one, to actually crack the tier 2 as well, getting tremendous value out of that. They take the dragon very easily on the exit, and things looking so good now. And the advantages were pretty significant for Johnsun and toucouille, but they're gone now. I mean, it's not really any sort of a lead whatsoever for these guys. Arrow is actually ahead bot, And PoE, I would think with the tower gold, is dead even or ahead. Okay, so he's down 100, but really, who cares at that point? Your bot laner's up 500, your top laner's up 1K. Jose has not been having a good game on the Trundle, hasn't really been able to get anything done, and it feels like is getting picked off quite a lot here as well. So FlyQuest have got to regroup. I mean, they're coming off of a pretty brutal loss against EG. They just got slammed in the earlier game. And now, on what could have been the bounce-back game, they're struggling again here against Immortals.
Yeah, looking to, you know, maybe even fall to 5-4. Immortals want to rise to that by Sunday as we get the push forward again. Revenge obviously feels very comfy here against Kumo. The question is, how good is his vision? Nice back step as Kumo actually makes him tank a turret shot, but there's no reinforcements. Shouldn't be much of a kill. Xerxe running back to his side of the map as Aphromoo played it pretty aggressive. Mid lane turret still not yet dead, and honestly, yeah, Johnsun can't put more than one auto in, so here comes the next play. 2.6K in the lead. They want the chase. They find a slow. Is it the rest that they want? Xerxe still hunting for Johnsun. Flash stun's going to land. The damage comes through for Arrow as well, and they're going to get that kill. Xerxe on the board again, 9-3. Aphro knows that he is dead. Slaughtered once again. Immortals just crushing this game.
It's a great TP flank there from Revenge to get so much. They're heading to Baron. Potentially just going to try to do it here on spawn. Just now does it actually spawn here as the clock crests 20 minutes. They're at the very least going to threaten it, but they're straight up starting it here. They have Destiny and Revenge actually zoning, and they've got red-white on Arrow, so they have more than enough damage to actually do this. Jose.
Yes, Flash. Great pillar. That was really, really good to interrupt Revenge here. 6K now on the Baron. Arrow stuck inside the pit. He will lose a lot of health to Baron here. This makes the fight a little bit harder as the rest of the team can try to join in. First one's going to land. toucouille, got to be careful. It's going to land. Backflip nearly kills. They find the kill. Well done to Revenge. Eaten up, spit back out. How about the next kill? JoseDeodo on the run. It's a blast plan away for Kumo. Can they get away? Good pillar buys some time. Distance gets some move speed, and Kumo not going to get away. Revenge should find this kill. A blast plant buys a few more seconds, but I can't believe Kumo lives through this. He goes for the wave. He goes to earn some gold. Revenge here for a little bit more. Another shield for the assist, and they're going to find yet another one. Immortals get kill after kill after kill. 12-3, and they are crushing FlyQuest.
Yeah, FlyQuest are able to stop the Baron, but they lose so much for it. Both of their solo laners going down. The TP, the flash off of Kumo as well. Jose going to try to get something here, but Immortals are really playing this aggressively, pushing the pace of the game so well. Xerxe paying a lot of attention to Revenge's lane early, and now that is paying dividends. With the effective TP, this team fighting that has been looking really good from the Camille. I mean, he's level 14 now, highest level in the game at this point. Revenge, I believe, has completed a second item. Yeah, Death Dance is through. Death Dance Tabby's Triforce. There's no shot for the Graves.
It's against Triple AD. Feels pretty good just to stack that one. Death Dance, a great second item. Actually, based on how this game is going, I like it more than Hullbreaker. He's already winning his side lane matchups anyway. Xerxe's going to get hooked in place, does have ulti, so he's not really in that much danger. In fact, holds everything. FlyQuest know they can't go for broke because they'll never actually finalize the kill, and so nothing really happens. The Hexgate forward, Revenge again. Straight up tower dive. Round 1 puts Kumo at half HP. Round 2 is Ignite. A good stopwatch immunes the ulti. Finally holds it for what would have been a forced solo kill. That's probably the best stopwatch he could have gone for, but now that's down, and guess what? Round 3 would be a kill, so off the tower you go. Hullbreaker not needed. He's already too big in the one-on-one.
Yeah, I agree. It feels bad to say that the best you can do with your stopwatch is just not getting tower dope from full health.
Yeah.
But he was actually really intelligent to hold on to it that long. A lot of players would have just pressed it in either of those previous deaths where it would have made no difference whatsoever. So, good usage there, but now trying to collapse here on a Revenge flash hook.
Nice sidestep by Revenge is going to be enough. Gets away from the zap. Yes, Revenge has the fingers, and Revenge says, nice try. You will remember today is the day you almost caught me, but it's not going to happen. Catching you sleeping here is...
No, Xerxe's going to hear you here. Are they going to catch him? Okay. He's not greedy on the push. Good job, Kumo.
Good job, Kumo. 0-4, though. Unlucky. I know I sung his praises a little bit earlier, but sadly has not been his day. Impact gapped him. In this one, it was more of a 2-on-1, although the
more of a jungle gap in this one, I'm going to be honest. This was about Xerxe and the ganks that he pulled off, you know. And once Camille is way ahead, like, you just can't do anything. Like, you're not going to win the all-in ever. It becomes very, very difficult. As you can see, Camille scales incredibly well. You know, Xerxe just had, I think, a really, really strong early game. On the other side of the map, Aphro was having a great game, but his carries have not really done much with that lead. You know, Johnsun, I think, has misplayed with his lead a few times. toucouille has not been able to really create much from his advantage either. So, you know, Xerxe pathed really intelligently, got the right guy ahead, and has reaped the benefits.
Right. I mean, you can recount what happened, right? Okay. Hey, toucouille, good job, right? You got your 20 CS lead. We got mid turret pressured. Mid turret died 15 minutes after all those kills, right? It was like a 20-minute turret kill. Oh, we had bot pressure because of a gank. Where's the no dragons to speak of? Okay, well, right, like, you know, just measuring the scoreboard. Yeah. Nothing happened off those kills. It's FlyQuest. I mean, think about their EG game. They had some stuff going early game, and they got 0 kills from minute 7 onwards. The final death was a no-assisted fountain dive. That's not a kill. That was a death that wasn't even a kill. They just didn't get anything for the last, 20 minutes of that game. Here's another one where FlyQuest haven't done anything in a really long time, unfortunately.
It's a tough game to play, from the position that they kind of got themselves in. Jose has been getting picked off, a fair bit. Obviously, Kumo really struggling with this jungle pressure. And, I think the opportunities that they had were kind of misplayed here and there. So it becomes very, very difficult. And again, this is a game where they just can't get any forward vision. So they can't get any momentum in the game. It's always Immortals choosing the plays because they know where you are. They have that vision, but looking for a pick now.
Good stun, good damage. PB forced to flash, nearly shut down. Cross map rocket from
nice
Jinx,
block.
tanked by Xerxe. May not hit anyway, but still a really good job to make sure no damage comes through. And it was a nice attempt, right? And I am a fan of the Syndra build, right? You are going for flat pen. You're the only AP on your team. So yes, indeed, no one's going to, rush for a Force Nature anywhere. Go for it, right? You're going to get pretty much true damage here with that kind of build. Just sadly, he's not ahead of the curve anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a tough one for him, but at least you can try to look for picks like that. I tend to think this is your best shot, right? You play through side, you overload one side, but it is going to be Immortals starting this up here once more. They spot him with the blue trinket, so they can respond, but it's going to be difficult to walk in past the Orianna ball. But they get the TP, so they just pull right off, and that's all they really needed, because now you have TP advantage for Revenge. Kumo had to teleport to actually answer, so FlyQuest have got to send their Syndra now down towards bot side, and that is not a safe place, really, for toucouille to be. Like, he's their strong guy. That's the person that they need for wave clear. That's the person that they really need for any sort of a kill threat.
Yeah.
So if you're just parked in a lane, accepting farm, under the tower against Camille, well, your 4-man squad can do nothing without you.
And that's the rough part, right? It's just nothing gets done. You can
Revenge
try.
pushing.
Okay, yep, here we go. Bot lane tier 2 about to drop. Adding some health to his build as the Baron dance doesn't turn into a whole lot. At some point, FlyQuest must answer because they see him on the wave. They know it's dying. I've seen a couple of recalls keep getting
waiting way
erupted.
too long.
And now Graves again gets the recall stopped. Cool, they sent back Jinx. Jinx gets tower dove. Jinx does not defend this one. Revenge is like, this is the John Travolta meme. Like, where the hell are my opponents? Is this funnel again? Like, is it top karma? I'm just killing turrets all over the map again. What?
Yeah.
But is this TSM? Like, what's happening?
It's tough, man. I just think that they had the read that, hey, like, we need to force something on top side. They were hoping, I think, that Immortals would try to defend the objective bounding top and then maybe they could get 5v4 play. Clearly did not work out at all. Revenge instead just gets gifted all of that gold down on bot side. He is very close to GA now as well. Death Tap comes through for PowerOfEvil, so really, really rough stuff here for FlyQuest. They got to get something going because it's 150 until Hextech Soul, which I think is one of the strongest, if not the strongest souls from ahead. It is so powerful for Revenge, for Arrow. It's going to be almost impossible to come back. So they have to find some sort of a pick, I think, prior to this dragon, and then hope that they can get the dragon and delay a little bit. But it's going to be really tough to do. As you look across, there's 4 stopwatches on Immortals. They are ready for this big fight that they need to take around that dragon. And when you have GA now even completed for Revenge, you just send him on a suicide mission in the backline, keep Johnsun or toucouille out of the fight. Well, your 4-man is then being bought all this space where they can free fire and kill off the front line of the enemy team.
Waiting the brush. I like this. FlyQuest trying to go for riskier plays. We know Dragon Soul's coming up. Comeback from Dragon Soul is going to be really difficult, especially with the gold lead as it already is. So can you set up around the map? And it's smart. They're not going over the scuttle vision. The brush camp on the bot side, that one's not going to work, sure, whatever. But we've got deep wards looking for the pick. Can we get a hook and a Jinx combo into, Trundle to make them actually a malleable target? And they're going to TP now in the Syndra. 45 seconds on this dragon. And right now, the bottom river belongs to FlyQuest. The threat of the burst damage is there. A couple of wards see what's going on. They know where everyone's going. PoE goes for the control ward. Jose can head to the front side. And we'll see if toucouille plus toucouille can make something happen. As in the brush is Destiny. Hook is going to land. Not an easy target. They will chunk him to half. And he can't even get the shield off. That is so huge to find one on the board. Dragon Soul could be stopped. Baron the same.
I mean, they're still back on Baron. Does FlyQuest even realize? FlyQuest thinks they stopped, but But if no one shows, do they even have vision on this? They're realizing now that they could be on it. It might just go down before they get there.
Wish they had vision. Baron dies, and FlyQuest just thought they were gonna leave. Baron's gonna drop. Mid-tier 2 will be answered. Dragon should be answered as well. They get something back for it, but
man,
Immortals just said, go ahead and have them.
Credit to Immortals, so that's actually such a smart call. They recognize FlyQuest assumes that they are gonna go on the reset there. They know they have no vision because they had it swept, they had Pinks down, so they just go right back on it. They don't need Tahm Kench to burst down the Baron. They finish that off, they get it for themselves. FlyQuest will grab a couple of objective bounties, and they do take a dragon, so they prevent Soul. But Revenge pushing on top side with Baron, his split push is even more powerful now. And he's gonna have a lot of gold in his pockets with that tier 2 solo gold being grabbed for himself. He's level 17, 3 levels up on Kumo, on a champion that outscales in the 1v1. Kumo just has no shot. You know, his best chance is just try to hug the tower, wave clear, hope your team can get picks elsewhere, because they did show they can at least burst down the Tahm Kench. That is not the priority target, but it was something.
And so you try to do it again. Void Staff nearly done for Syndra here. Hoping that's going to work out for him. It's good to see the name synergy with the champion pick, you know? He's got all the balls, gonna throw them at enemies, and hope it's gonna be enough. We wait to see. Revenge, GA, has hook shot, gonna get away from the 1v3. He's gonna be just fine because his team is pushing in top lane, 3 versus 2. Attempted stun, not gonna land here, so goodbye to the inhibitor turret. Destiny's back on the map. Ready to try again. Mid lane now being attacked, and Volibear ults to safety. He's gonna be fine for now. A flash to get away from the pillar. A nice stun comes in from toucouille, but not gonna be much more. Just a walk away.
Gotta answer Revenge. It's the push and pull, man. They're playing it very well. Immortals has been really good in the split push when they've been playing it. They showcased some really good map play against TSM. Fortunately, they lost that game, but over these last couple games that they've been winning, they have showed really, really intelligent map play. They've been good about setting up vision. They have been good about the push and pull, about timing the crashing of the waves. So multiple waves are landing at the opponent's base at the same time, making it very difficult to defend. This is just good stuff, and Xerxe is going to continue pushing in mid. Of course, he's more vulnerable without the ult or the flash, but there's no one person on FlyQuest that can actually defend Revenge, so you send multiple members there. Then on the other side, guess what? They shove.
They're gonna try again. Revenge can't quite tie without a wave, but mid lane can certainly be attacked. Arrow will be chompered. They got to kill themselves. There we go. Destiny gets there, has to burn the flash to do it, but does bring Arrow back to safety. And that's a big shockwave. Johnsun nearly down, walks up for the lantern, gets right back out. Turret still very low, and careful. Arrow with the chakra takes him down. Welcome back to the roster, buddy. He's on the board. Down goes 2 inhibitors. Down goes FlyQuest. Immortals going for a bit more. They've got a TP available. Goodbye Xerxe to tank the zap. Revenge wants to find that one. Not just yet, though. Takes a backflip, has a GA, burns a stopwatch. Reinforcements have arrived, and it's 5 versus 4. Has to be winnable. Locket comes down. Good damage out of Jinx. Pops the GA. Is it going to be enough for Johnsun? Low on health, low on mana. Underneath comes Destiny. Finds a knockup, and it's Kumo going down as well. 4v4, no, 5v3 on the map, but they push for a little bit more there. Big damage, Oldie comes across, Revenge gonna find that one. Volibear to dive for a little bit more. Then the stun coming across, and that's going to be all she wrote. That's gonna be the kills. JoseDeodo stays alive, but his base will not. A shockwave finds the bottle at ace. Immortals improve the 4-4. Immortals on the rise.
What a turnaround for Immortals over these last couple weeks. Looking absolutely dominant here against FlyQuest, who came into the weekend tied for first place, and FlyQuest now back-to-back losses. A couple of tough ones for them as they just didn't really seem like they could get much going. Had a decent early game, but it was the focus on Revenge. This is the guy who Immortals built around. He was involved in the roster creation. They put their faith in him as a carry player. Xerxe put his resources into him as an early game jungler. And Revenge really made it worth their while. The TP play, I think, really kind of blew the game open, put them massively in the advantage. And PowerOfEvil and Arrow, who were behind early, slowly crawled their way back into the game and got to a point where they were the powerful ones on the map, where they were the ones taking over. We saw Arrow bursting down toucouille. You know, was that a Xerxe or an Aphelios? Like, that was 2 screens away, killing the Syndra, man.
Now, Revenge, if you can hear me, I don't want to hear how top lane doesn't matter, buddy. That was a top gap if I ever see one, my friend. That was beautiful. And yeah, so much pressure come out of that man. I'm glad he has stuck to his style. I mean, this man was a Ribbon one trick. It is how he got noticed, and I'm glad he is playing his kinds of champions.
Yep.
And it's fun to watch, right? It does look so different when right, those kind of players are on their kind of champs because, I mean, he cracked the game open. Yes, he got help, but he got help, and that game was Camille runs the map.
And I've got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff. I think it's impressive when you see, you know, this type of cohesive play. Like, they were obviously good individual pieces, but they looked awful as a team in lock-in and in the first week of the LCS.
Yeah.
They look like such a good team now. Like, the ability to actually play the map, I can't overstate. I think they are playing some of the best cross-map play in the league, if not the best cross-map play. With how they're, you know, facilitating this push and pull through split push, you know, really enabling revenge while not getting caught on the other side, not playing so far back that when they do collapse on revenge, they can't get anything. Like, they are walking that fine line so damn well. And it's showing. It's showing in the results. They're picking up win after win after win. That's 3 straight now after starting 0-6. Like, this is a huge turnaround. They could actually 3-0 this weekend potentially and be looking really, really good. Yeah,
3 in a row, 4-2 over the last 3 weeks, whatever you want to call it. Immortals are playing like a top-tier team. Well done to them. Now, Arrow returns with a strong performance, and now he'll be sharing his thoughts with the Tigers in our Verizon post-game interview.